Welcome to the Explosive Strength Podcast with Jared Bidney. This episode, we're going to talk about same shit. You know what I mean same shit? Because if you want to get better, you got to do the same shit over and over and over again. And usually when I speak, it's in terms of strength and power, not fitness. Where the fitness industry and all this other stuff that we see out there, they want to change up this routine. They want to do this. They want to keep switching it up. Well, they never really get any stronger. They never really get any faster. But that industry is not concerned about that. They're more concerned with popularity or different exercises that help keep the interest of the people so that the people don't get bored. But to be strong and fast, you have to train that crap into you. And the only way to do that is to do the same thing over and over again, beat it into your system. And it may be boring. You know, like people don't like coming in the same routine over and over again. And it's boring. But you know what's boring to me is staying the same, not getting any stronger, not getting any faster, not jumping any higher. And so, just like I told you the other day with my bench routine, when I come in, the first thing I do is I grab the 100-pound dumbbells. I do that 20 times. Then I go do 135 for 20. Then I go do 225 for 10. Then I do 275 for 2. Then I start my sets and my reps. So I have to, like I said on the other episode, to bench a lot, you have to bench a lot. And to squat a lot, you have to squat a lot. Try to squat these kids and try to bench these kids that are here all the time. We try to squat and we try to bench 3 days a week. Being in the system, just like that kid that was there next door. He thought he was gonna get strong. He did bench 4 regular bench workouts, 3 close grip workouts, then maxed. Who the freak gets stronger after four workouts? Especially you ain't gonna go from 250 up. I mean, the kid was a 250 bencher. And if you're that weak, if you're 250 or less, you don't need to change the crap up over and over. You got to get strong. And the only way to get strong for you is to beat it into your system. You know, a couple of years ago, we went to a powerlifting competition. And this is when I had some freaks. Had an 18-year-old bench 341 competition at 161. Had a kid 325 bench at 15 years old, 151 body weight. Had a kid do 450 at 185, and had a 13-year-old do 150 at 113 pound body weight. And people would say, "Hey, Jared, what do y'all do for bench?" And I was sitting there thinking to myself, well, we bench. And so without telling a whole lot, because I was trying to figure out what they were thinking, and so I just asked, what do they do? Well, sometimes they bench twice a week, and sometimes if they do a third day, they do overhead press or shoulder press, military press. I was like, damn, you know, that's the problem with people is if you're starting to try on the bench and you're trying to increase your bench, you have to get your triceps stronger. And so naturally walking around, your front part of your shoulder is stronger than your triceps. So why continue to make the thing that's stronger even stronger, and the thing that's weaker, it's never gonna catch up. And so by them doing shoulder presses, that's going to make them more flat on their bench, and it's not going to make them as more armed on it. So they're just basically, when they're benching, sometimes they're using too much shoulder, and it's almost like a flat back shoulder press instead of a flat back bench. So, well, we don't bench flat back anyway. We've got to learn how to arch. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. But, you know, in order to train, you got to do the same shit over and over again. You got to beat it into your system. Training is boring, where fitness and working out is just kind of like what it is, just work. Hey, I want a good hard workout routine. Okay, what the freak's point in doing that if it's not going to make you any faster or stronger? You know, like these kids coming in from high school to bench. This one kid desperately got to get his bench up, and almost did his max for 3. Well, when he first came in, he did 250. Well, after a few weeks, he was able to do 275. Today, he did 265 for 3. So, like I said, the other episode is like, sometimes whatever their max is, within 3 weeks, I can get them to do their max for 3 reps. And so that's just by come in, you're like, hey, Jared, what do you do? Like I said, my warm up, I do my sets and reps. Then I go to my tricep press downs. You know, I told somebody the other day I do cable abs, and I said, I hate doing this crap, you know, but I get the results out of it. And just like squatting, I mean, squatting's never fun. And I do Paul's squat. I do Paul's safety squat bar squats. And that's what helps my jump, helps me make me more explosive. I think I may have touched on that the last episode. But, you know, like some of these kids, when they go to college, I got this college kid, I had Christmas breaks a couple of weeks ago, and some of these kids are going to college, went to some D1 schools. Some of them are D1 AA, or it's called FCS now. They were weaker. I was like, damn, you know, got 4 weeks, so maybe hopefully we get you back to where you were. And I said, how many days a week y'all squat? Well, one kid said, Jared, we didn't even squat during the season, or we didn't even squat the whole semester. I was like, okay, well, that's good. The one kid said they may squat once a week, and sometimes they may bench once a week. But that's why this one kid went from a 375 bench to a 335 bench in a semester. You know, they're not doing enough to keep their strength levels up. And so it's just not about switching the routine up all the time. If you want to get stronger, if you want to get faster, you know, these kids, I make them do tread sled. They hate that. They hate tread sled, but the 40 gets better. You know, sometimes if you want to diet, you got to eat some same stuff, same food or same type of food, no carbs or whatever you do. You got to stay with it. You just can't come, oh, I feel like I'm going to do this day. I feel like I'm going to do that. Well, shit, if I did that, I was going to tell them what I would look like. So, and actually heard a podcast on the episode somewhere the other day that this guy traveled the world. And because like that, people ask me, what the hell do we do? Why is our bench, how do we bench so much? Shit, we bench all the damn time. We bench 3 days a week. You know, and we don't come in and bench, then go to next time we come in, we do incline. Next time we do floor press. Next time we do dumbbell bench. The next time we may bench. You got to train it into your system. You can't read or do this and do that and do that and expect the body to learn when it's always switched up on you. You know, maybe when you get stronger, yeah, but at this point for most people, no, you just got to keep doing the same crap over and over again. And I get frustrated sometimes because kids do get bored with it. Kid came in, Jared, I want to get to 500. Okay, get him to a 500. We went from a 405 squat to a 500 squat, and this is a 16-year-old kid. So that's pretty damn good. Went 405 to 500. He said he wanted to get 600. He's 16. We got plenty of time. Even if it takes 2 years, by the time he's 18, 600-pound squat's still good. I had a kid squat 611 at 17. I had another kid squat 661, and these are competition at 661. He's 661 at 17, and I had another kid squat 611 at 17 years old. I had some kids that box squatted 625 at 15, 17 years old. So I even had Colton squat over 500 at 185 pounds. I had a Cody, he squatted 501 at weighing at 160. That's 3.1 times his body weight. He had a 46-inch vertical. But you got to squat. You got to squat to increase that freaking leg strength over and over again. You come in, squat, next day you do front squat, next day you do Bulgarian squat, next day you may do freaking lunges. That may be a fitness routine or a workout. That ain't training because you got to do the same thing over and over. Just like I said, repeat this 1,000 times. To bench a lot, you have to bench a lot. To squat a lot, you got to freaking squat a lot. So anyway, the kid went from 405 to 500, quit coming. I was like, shit, you wanted to get 600. And I was looking at his folder. When he squatted 500 in June of 2018, he quit coming about August. We didn't get much further down the line, but anyway, in January of 2019, he only squatted 510. And that 510 is weaker than that 500, just based off of where the progress was going to go when I had him. When he was squatting 500 here, he was moving 415 on the Tendo unit at a 0.62, 0.60, 0.58, and a 0.57. All very good numbers. And so that was in June. That was more toward the beginning of June. June of 18 and August of 18, he moved 450 at a 0.61, a 0.61, a 0.57, and a 0.59. So his last set was better than his third set. So you can see from June to August, because you had June, July, and August, he got faster. He went up 35 pounds in speed strength. So you know the squat went up much more than what it was from 500 to August. And so then January of 2019, after he quit coming, he went down to 500 for one. He was frustrated. Well, yeah, sometimes you can't do this stuff on your own. Sometimes these kids at 16, 17 years old don't have the knowledge. I mean, that's why the danger of looking crap up on the internet's bad, because sometimes when you're doing it, you're gonna have to have someone to watch you and get it from there. You know, that's frustrating. You know what? I had another kid that quit coming. He went from a 285 squat and this kid Clement because would kind of argue a little bit, but whatever. 285 to 350. That's the first time he's ever squatted over 300. He couldn't believe how much he was able to squat. But when he first started coming in here, he had knee sleeves on, had a freaking belt, and had wrist straps and trying to come in here and squat. And I'm like, damn, you can't look like a knight going into battle and come in here and squat. You got to take that shit off of you because you got to make everything else stronger. You know, if you're wearing your knee sleeves and you're wearing your belt, those are helping you get more weight. But by necessarily getting more weight, you're not going to get more weight without that stuff on, or you're not. It's not really going to make you much better. We're going to go over high bar squatting versus low bar. So that kid quit. I got him stronger. So he quit coming when I told it when he started. After he went from a 285 to a 350 squat, he started trying to put the belt back on and knee sleeves. I said, why? Well, I feel it makes me feel good. I don't care what you feel like. I just care that you get stronger. You know, I'm not in here for your feelings. I'm not in here to necessarily make you happy. I'm in here, you're in here, and I'm in here to make you better. And so, whatever, guess what? You quit coming. Goes to a powerlifting meet. I think he only squatted 330. So I know how you go from 350 to 330 workout, and you don't listen, and you're trying to do these oddball routines that are, I guess, fun, or you read this, or you're trying to compete with your buddies doing this. Hell, I don't know what the hell y'all doing, but you're getting weaker, and that ain't right. So, just like it's high bar versus low bar, this is kind of a self-experiment or something that I saw this past summer. I've had a girl with me that has always squatted high bar. Then I had a girl come to me that had always squatted low bar, so I got high bar versus low bar. The girl that always squatted high bar, I moved her bar down lower on her back because she said she wanted to try it. You know, you see all this stuff on the media. I'm talking Instagram or whatever else these people are watching. And she went from a 180 squat to a 200, 205 squat, which is good. And she said, okay, Jay, can we start squatting low bar? And I start trying to program her squatting low bar. And this other girl, so I started trying to, and her squat wasn't moving. I was like, damn. And her bench press started suffering. So by having her squat low bar, her hips were starting to get higher. She was able to train with a little bit more weight because of the number of her max. But what happened is the progress and the rate of improvement on her squat was not moving like it normally did when I did high bar squat with her. And all these people like Ryan and whoever these people were that squatted, Alex squatted 661 at 17, Ryan squatted 611 at 17, Colton was 17, squatted 625 off the box, Cody was 17 or 18 with a 501 squat at 160 pound, 3.1 time, and they all had the bar high on their back. And I listened to something a couple of years ago. Louis says, I think they'll do all high bar squat, none of this low bar stuff. And so I started getting intrigued by, okay, this girl's progress was going up. When she was doing high bars, she may not be doing as much weight. But I said, look, let's just save this low bar squat for competition. You know, anybody put the damn bar on their back lower and squat more weight at that time, so you don't have to necessarily practice it ingrain it into you. Or I see a lot of these people working on technique all the time. They spend so much damn time working on technique, they never get any stronger. Oh, shoot. Sometimes you got to be bad to get better. You know, like sometimes you may let kids technique break down so that they learn how to fight through and grind through in order to get better. But these technique Nazis out there, yeah, hey, that ain't perfect, but you're freaking weak. So whatever. The girl, so I said, dang, so I moved her back to high bar, then her progress started going back up. Well, this other girl came in and I moved her, this other girl squatted low bar all the time. Well, she'd been struggling for a year to get her squat going up. I moved her bar up higher, and her squat started going back up. And so I said, damn that. And so then I had another kid. So you see what happens when I move the bar up, the squat progress or the rate of progress of which I want started going up quicker because we're going to these powerlifting competitions. And I got this one girl that always squatted low bar to move her bar high. Squat progress is going up pretty good. Even had her sign up now I've got to change it up even more, high bar, super low squat just to see what happens. So when we do the high, in competition, I'm gonna let them squat low bar because they can get the more weight, but the rate of progress in the gym and the rate of progress from month to month improvements as far as total overall squat strength is not as good when they train low bar all the time. And I've got this guy that comes in here, and he's always squat low bar. You know why? Because it feels comfortable. I don't like the way it feels. Well, shit, if you just take your feelings, set them outside the door, you come in here and you work, you'd get a lot better. And so I tried to box squat him, just to argue and thing like, no, it sucks. Okay, well, hey, let's go to the safety squat bar. And so he goes to the safety squat bar, which is essentially a high bar squat. It's actually higher than a high bar squat. And all of a sudden his squat, he maxed out at 265. And then 4 weeks later, he went to 300. He said, yeah, Jared, let's get another 35-pound improvement. So I was looking at some folders and his numbers and said, 35 pounds. If he wants to squat 335, we're going to start moving 285. But he's not ready for that. He said, yeah, come on, Jared, give it to me. I'm sitting there thinking, you just can't come in here and I say a number and you think you can get it, because if I think you can get it, more than likely, you're not going to freaking get it. And I'll go around to kids and say, watch, he's not going to get this rep. You can look in their eyes before they squat and look at them and see, look at their whole body language and see if they're going to get it. And I said, watch, he's not going to get it. Oh, yeah, well, Jared, whatever. Guess what? Misses the rep. I said, told you. And I said, look, this kid's only going to get 2 out of 3. He got 2. Told you. But that's the way it is. And the kid, if he squatted 300, he's not going to, that's 95%. The next week, 285 is 95% of 300. There's no way you're going to get it for 3. Guess what? Tried it, failed. And I said, well, you got to go back to the drawing board. Let's just do what I know to do, and just got to listen. And trust me, like the other day, kid was, this kid likes to work out. He wants to get stronger, likes to be in the gym, but I don't know, he wants to switch it. Doing too much, like sometimes when you got a kid, like he actually tries and he tries to push himself, or he want to try to even attempt the 285, but and no one wants to be weak. So I saw him over here doing the ab side bends with the weight on the bar, and he had a 45 on it, and he was doing it wrong, and he had too much weight, but. Yeah, and so I tried to show him how to move his feet, how to rotate with the bar and stuff. Didn't listen. I feel it. I don't care. You're not doing it right. So I went and got a book and gave it to him and said, look, read this. And guess what? He read it. Then he took the weight off. Then he just started working with just the bar. And he came back. He said, man, Jared, those are killer. I was like, damn, why don't people freaking listen? I'm trying to tell you, because I've had experience and I know it. When I see it, I'm not just some coach making up stuff off the top of my head. I've already read all these books. I already know how to do all this stuff. And why do I have to give you a book in order for you to read the book before you even start freaking listening? So that's frustrating. But anyway, his squat is going up using the high bar squat for the first. He's never had improvements like this. And guess what else is happening? His bench is starting to move up. Well, the girl who also squatted low bar the entire time, I moved her high bar, her bench started going up. And the girl that I had squat high bar all the time, moved her to lower bar, her bench progress was not moving like it used to. So let's go back to high bar. Guess what? Now she benched 137 at 122 pounds in competition. And so strength started going back up. I said, damn. And so all the kids that were squatting low bar, the bench progress. I was like, well, then I was listening to a podcast after I was coming to, they were both, and this kid that started with state squat bar, his bench progress has been phenomenal lately. And what I noticed is that I said, there's something to this. And I've been trying to look in a lot more before I even did this podcast into the high bar versus low bar, is that when the bar's lower on your back, some of these kids look at stuff and try to get the bar as low as they can on their back. And sometimes they don't even need to have the bar that low to even start with. 1 inch of the bar change on your back's a big difference. Well, if the bar is too low on your back, guess what? You got to wear wrist straps to keep your wrist from getting killed. Well, guess where the stress goes after it goes to your wrist? It goes to your elbows and your shoulders. their shoulders and their elbows are getting killed for holding the bar too low on their damn back. And it's not allowing. So if they're going to come in here Monday, if they're going to come in here bench Monday, low bar squat Tuesday, and they got to come back Wednesday and bench again, they're never recovering because their elbows and shoulders are getting beat up all the damn time. That's why their bench was not progressing in the right way, because like, damn, Jay, Monday felt good. Well, yeah, we probably didn't do anything Sunday. And but by the time Wednesday and the next day comes, they're beat up. And so I was like, damn, okay, so that makes sense. That's why their bench was not moving. That's why this is not happening. So you take the stress off the shoulders and the elbows, they're able to recover a lot quicker. So now moving it, and the thing about it is even if you look at Louie and some of these other people, they don't have the bar like super low. And I think sometimes when people hear low bar, they try to get the bar too damn low on their back, when they can just do a mid-bar squat between high and low. But from what I've seen lately, I would probably just prefer them to all squat with a higher bar. That way we can cover and bench more. It's not like, okay, in training it does not matter. It only matters in competition, especially because these three people compete. So this is where it matters, in competition, not in training. So why not, if high bar still makes your competition low bar squat go up, why not take the stress off your shoulders and your elbows and your wrist, and do high bar in training? When you go to competition, switch to low bar or mid bar. Or we need to figure out, and everybody does not even squat low bar, but depending on limb length and mechanical advantages of the body. And the people I've had successful with the 600 plus, 500 pound squatters, I don't know how, I've got a list of how many 500 pound squatters I've had here at the gym. And I've got a list of how many high school, I think 13 or more high school kids bench over 405. And so I've learned over time, and it's about tracking, paying attention. I'm in here coaching and I'm in here changing, and everybody's always not doing the same thing. And like this other kid that likes to just freaking work out. I had a kid doing speed squat with chain because he's not an athlete, so I'm trying to build and trying to get him to understand training a little bit more, and he's the only one in here doing it. So guess what kids want to do? Kids want to go, hey, can I try that, Jared? Hey, can I try that? No, you need to go back over here. Just like I had a kid the other day. Max, he said, Jared, do I have to do incline after a max? Yeah. Why do you think that? Well, that's what he said. Well, that's what they do in school sometimes. If they go in there, max just basically a warm up. You max out, then you go work out. Okay. So it's the ADD tension. I want to go do this. I want to go do that. Well, if you want to get better, you might as well stick to this. That's boring. Well, to me, boring is, like I said, staying the freaking same. So high bar versus low bar, it's not in competition. So if low bar is costing your bench not to progress or move up, what good's adding 10 to 15 pounds to your squat when you actually hold your bench press back by 40? You know, so if you're looking for a total, if you go into this powerlifting meet, you're looking for a total, you got to get to 1,000 pounds. If your low bar squat's only helping you out 10 to 15 pounds, but it's holding your bench back 40, why do it? It's not going to add to your total. It's just going to actually hurt your total. So you need to dissect them, especially if you're a lifter or whatever. You need to dissect it and look forward the end total result, and not just that one thing. So just because you can squat more, and I tell the kids they'll come in here to squat with a belt, and it drives me nuts. Okay, when you squat with a belt, your abs and obliques and your lower back do not work as hard because the belt's taking some of the stress off of those muscles. Well, those are your trunk muscles. You know that popular word that people say, your core? By using a belt, you're not letting your core get as strong. You don't do crunches to make your freaking core stronger. You got to load it, load that spine, load that body, and create internal pressure so that you can create external force. And so, and when they get, and all the kids that squatted those tremendously high numbers did not train with a belt. They only used a belt in competition so we get the max out of it. You may not be lifting as much weight in the gym, but it don't matter. You're making your lower back, you're making your abs and your oblique, you're making your trunk, which is your core, you're making that a lot stronger so that it can be acting like a transfer case, a transfer of power from the lower body up. You know, that way we don't have any rounding under the back. When we're squatting, it's Jared, my back hurts. Your back hurts because it's freaking weak. So you don't need a belt. And a lot of times that kid that went from 285 to 350, We didn't use the belt the whole time of training. Never seen progress like that before ever in his squat. But yet stopped coming, got weaker. And you got this other kid here that went from low bar to high bar, safety squat bar. Don't wear a belt, but they want to wear a belt because it's cool, or they like the way it feels, or they need to get rid of their freaking feelings, because you know what? They've gotten a lot stronger without the belt. Then if you go compete, then you put the belt on so that you get to lift the maximum amount of weight in competition. And don't worry about your freaking gym numbers. Have the best gym numbers or week numbers or whatever numbers you want to call them, your training numbers as possible. Then if you go to a competition, you compete. What happens if you go somewhere and if you know, like these pits, oh, I think I'm gonna do this training routine today. Oh, I think people switch too damn often in order to get something out of it. People are impatient. That's why it's good to have someone watching over them. So that's my thing on the high bar versus low bar. I think it holds your bench back. I've not seen the people that have done the low bar, I've not seen their squat improve at a rate of progress like it should compared to the other people in here that high bar squat. And you know, I'm dealing with 100 plus athletes a month. So, and it's me, I don't have 15 employees walking around. I'm out there, that's where I like to be. I hate this desk work, I don't like to do the desk work. All I care about, I like to see the kids progress. Jared, how do you do it every day? I like seeing kids succeed. I told this one kid today, he said, Jared, I benched 200. I said, damn, you're in 8th grade? I remember myself, and I said, you know what, that's good. I said, hopefully we can get you going, get 250 before you go into the high school. You know, I did, and I said, that's better than I was. You know, going into my sophomore year, I benched 250. And so that's my goal, is to try to make these kids better than what I am, you know. But sometimes they gotta listen, and sometimes you gotta do shit like you don't want to do. Like if I want to lean up, I gotta eat foods, and you think I want that for breakfast all the time? Freak, no. But I know I have to do the same damn thing over and over again in order to get to where I want to go. So yeah, hey, I would like some ice cream. Yep, I like some cake, but I can't have it because I'm not there yet, you know. Hey Jared, can I change my squat bar? No, you're not there yet to where we need to be. Like some of these kids I'll get in here and we'll squat with the, we do change, you know, but we don't change very often. You know, to change your squat, you have to change your squat, and to change your bench, you got to change your bench. But we don't change all the time. Some days, like I'll do chain bench for 2 months, or I'll have these kids squat with chains, but we're still squatting heavy weights with chains. And I don't like to use bands, because when I tie the bands to the stupid racks in here, sometimes depending on how you tie the band to it, they can have different tensions, and it's so hard because we don't leave the band set up on them all the time, because there's no telling what would happen. Is that every time you set the band up, you may set it to a different tension, so you're not getting an accurate reading all the time. That's why I don't set the bands up. And sometimes when I see people set the bands up outside of here, or maybe look, I was like, damn, they don't really freaking know. They just kind of put bands on the bar. I don't know, I think it's maybe popular still. But I do have a monolift, and the bands are set there at a certain way, but I don't really mess with it because it's too much of a variation or variable into it. So anyway, and it's not about the workout. Everybody wants to come here and do something different. It's not about that. To bench, it's about the methods behind the exercises. It's not the exercises, it's the methods. Static, dynamic, load, release, heavy, light. You know, sometimes we do an over warm up. When I had a kid, like the other day, we warmed up to 315 or something on there. Then we went back down and did our sets at 275. Sometimes we do that. It has a lot more of a neurological response, turns more neurons on so that we can actually fire and get our sets and our reps. Or to get higher speeds on the Tendo. I don't know what I forgot what I had the kid to do the other day. He went from 385, 375, I don't have it over here. Then I had him warm up to like 415 for 3, then we came back down and got sets at 5 at 295. So we'll do things like that. Grip strength, oh, I heard this crap the other day. This one guy, I was talking to, he said he squeezed the gripper all the time, and his grip strength's getting better, but he never tested it. Just because it feels better don't mean it is better. Like for instance, I use the Rolling Thunder handles for farmers walks here, and I would walk down turf and I'd walk back, which is, I've got lines marked off. We can run 40-yard dash in here, but I've got them primarily marked off. I don't know if anybody have seen them in video. 30 yards down, 30 yards back with 50 pounds. So I went from 50 to 75, and I was doing farmer's walks with 100 pounds in each hand, but these handles are like a 2-inch handle, and they spin. So it's just not like picking up a bar. It's actually taxing your grip, because I was trying to improve my grip strength as far as trying to pull more on a Rolling Thunder deadlift. When I was doing, I'd maxed out at 165, one hand on the Rolling Thunder handle, and then I took my farmer's walks and I went from 50 pounds to 75 pounds till I was doing farmer's walks at 100 pounds. And I go test my Rolling Thunder deadlift. Guess what? It did not go up. So I was like, damn, well, shit, that was a waste of time. You know, I thought I was working, and I felt it in my forearms, and my forearms endurance got better, but my strength did not get better. So it depends on what you're measuring. And so I thought that, I said, these people ain't even measuring anything, because they didn't have anything to measure it by, you know. Guess what? I still wasn't able to close the number 3 gripper. I could still close the 2.5. So my crushing grip and my open hand grip strength did not improve. And let's go back to and you know, I keep talking about the same shit because we're doing the same shit over and over again. Well, there was a guy I was listening to on a podcast earlier this week. He's trained under Boris Reko out of Russia, which is a famous powerlifting coach. He studied the Bulgarian system, conjugate system, West Side Barbell, and I learned a lot under Charles Poliquin, famous strength coach. And he also spent some time in China. And China's got the best weightlifters, not powerlifters, but the best weightlifters, probably the best system out there. And the one thing that they have in common is they do the same shit over and over and do it over and over and heavy again. You know, like look at Westside, strongest gym in the world. They're very successful. You know, Sunday, when you go there, it's going to be a dynamic bench. You know, Monday's going to be a max squat, Wednesday's going to be a max bench, and Friday's going to be a dynamic squat. Year after year, those same 4 days doing the same thing. Damn, Friday, I could do my dynamic squat. Why the hell I got to do this? Wednesday, max effort bench. You know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing over and over again. And that's what the one thing that I learned from that, you know, and I've been doing that. It just verifies that doing the same shit over and over may be boring, but it works. And when that famous powerlifting coach came to the US and this guy's gym, he goes, you Americans have too many toys. Because you know what? It don't take a whole lot. So the guy said he's just limited, he does about 90% or 95% of all his work with a barbell. You know, and people want to come in here, look at fancy, hey, oh, that's a cool exercise. Hey, this and that, you know. Let's spend time and get stronger. And to get stronger, I'm gonna just keep saying the same shit over and over again, because you have to do the same shit over and over and over. But not only that, you got to know how to overload it. You got to know how to change it when it needs to be changed, and you need to know how to manipulate a variable when it needs to be manipulated. Because sometimes a kid can come in here and they can bench 18 different workouts, but all of a sudden some type of technique change happens. Like, when the hell, how the heck did you start doing that? And that's why it's good to have someone watch over them. And sometimes you don't even need to watch them. You just need to I'll give them their sets, their reps, what I expect them to get. I may change them from Paul, like this one kid. He Paul's bench all month. Next month I made just regular. We're still benching, but we're switching a small variable within the thing. We're not coming here Paul's benching one time, touch and go bench next time. We'll, like I said earlier, change our bench. We got to change our bench, but we always freaking bench. How we bench, what time frame we bench. We may bench. I may have this kid Paul's bench for 2 months. Then I'll switch it to back regular touch and go. Or I may move him to a medium close grip bench, add chain, do that for 2 months. Because if I improve one, the other one will improve, because we're still benching, but we're not changing too often enough to where the body's not learning or adapting to the stimulus that we're putting upon it. So anyway, enough of that. I had a professional athlete go next door and didn't want to come here, didn't want to pay the price or whatever. And so I said, I went over there next door, 24 gym one time, and just kind of walked random stuff. No wonder this cat didn't make the team. I mean, sweating. Hell yeah, he was sweating. He was working hard, but damn, he was going nowhere. I don't understand the point in busting your ass and working out hard if you don't get any faster or any stronger out of it. I don't comprehend that. I'm not in the fitness industry. I'm in the strength and power world, and I want to be faster, and I want to be stronger, I want to be more explosive. Like this guy I was squatting with today, he goes, "Damn, you're really explosive." I said, "I'm trying to teach people how to do that, and hopefully if they can watch me, they can understand." But a lot of the kids do have that explosiveness once they've learned how to be explosive. So, and I was just thinking, man, go from box jumps to overhead press to squat to some type of row. I was like, well, I don't know when the hell this guy learned from. And so that's just kind of crap, you know. And they got these kids going off to college, come back weaker. Jared, we don't bench and squat that often. We work on our flexibility and our mobility. Well, that stuff is good, but if you want to prevent injury, you're going to have to get stronger. You know, especially if you're playing football when you have a high-end collision sport. So how do y'all, I was asking some kids the other day, how do y'all warm up? Well, Jared, we got 2 minutes to warm up and we get with it. And this other kid said, well, we take a lap around the track and whatever our first weight is on our sheet is what we do. And I'm thinking, man, so, and they said, Jared, some of the kids don't even warm up at all. They just do it. And I said, y'all have got to start warming up. You got to warm up. You got to get blood to the muscle so that you can load it. You know, I'm not going to come, you know what I warm up with? I warm up with the bar when I squat. What I warm up with the 100-pound dumbbells. I'm trying to see what happens. I'm trying to see if I can do the 100-pound. I do one set of 20. I don't break it up. I do 20 reps in a freaking row. I pause the last 5. So I do a set of 20 with the 100, pause the last 5, knock out 135 as quick as I can. Then I put 225 on the bar, knock that out, 275. By the time I got a pretty good pump. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do the 100s this month, 110s next month in February, March 120, April 130. I don't have 140s, I have 150s, and see if I can get doing the 150s. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but my dumbbell bench is not going to go up unless my straight bar bench goes up. So I got to do it enough just to keep blood flow in it, but I'm interested to see what happens as my bench progresses. And I've done the 150s for 10, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And we don't spend a lot of time warming up. Speaking of that, I got Corey Engelbert messaged me on Instagram. He goes, "Hey Jared, great podcast today. I like how you touched on warm-up stuff. So many people overdo it. And in tomorrow's episode, I'm wondering if you can touch on how you guys warm up prior to jump training and prior to when we do our sprint testing at the end of each month. Thanks, great stuff." Corey, thanks for the message on Instagram. How do we warm up for our jump training? What I call, it's kind of like a progressive warm up, especially if I'm going to jump. I'll have the kids, and I try to get them to have great kinesthetic awareness as far as being aware of their body and space. All right, we don't come in. I agree. Too many people spend too much like that. This one girl, she came in here, she would spend too much. She'd spend 15 minutes stretching and mobility shit before we even got started. It's like, damn, no wonder you can't squat. You done killed yourself. And you know, we warm up for squat. We go in there, we warm up for squat. We just some of the kids put 135 on, then they progress forward with that. I warm up for my bench by doing 3 sets of something. And I warm up at the bar when I squat. And once I get to a certain weight, I'll put the Tendo unit on it, but I don't want to know my speeds because I'm not trying to kill myself in the warm up. But to warm up, I warm up doing, for squatting, warm up with squatting. I don't foam roll, I don't do that. Sometimes I may do some reverse hyper and some leg curls, then I go squat. But I don't kill myself on that, just get enough blood in there, get blood flowing so I can load it. But for our jump training, I'm trying to use the word ratchet up. We kind of ramp up. I guess you can call it a ramping up warm up. So if I'm going to go in there and jump for my dumbbell jumps, if I've got the 30s, I know I jump to 30 with the 30s. My first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit a 15. Then I may hit an 18-inch. Then I may hit a 20. Then I may hit a 24. And so I get a certain number in there. Then I kind of go through about 4 sets of how I want, or I go 15, 18, 20, maybe 24, 22, 24. That way my body's getting used to the impact. I don't the only way to really warm up for jumping is to get used to the impact. And I try not to make my first jump that high. And I try to teach the kids the same thing is, all right, you got your dumbbells. We're going to come over here and jump. I just want you to kind of ramp up. All right, boom. First set, you get a 15. Second set, 18, 20, 22, 24. Then we go all out jumping, trying to break our numbers. We just don't come in, grab the 30s and jump a 30 with the 30s immediately. I don't know what the hell, I would probably break. But we just do a ramping warm up as far as our dumbbell jumps. So that's basically how I do it. Just try to get them to get, sometimes the kids can get away with 3 sets. They may get 15, 20, 25, and then go on. But I do like for them to get a couple of impacts, especially since we have weight in our hand, to get that spine shocked a little bit, the hands, the legs, the knees, everything's kind of feeling some type of impact, not all out impact on the first jump. Let's do about 3 or 4 sets, boom, 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 then go all out. That's how we do that. What do we do for our sprint training at the end of each month? We usually warm up on the turf, and it's pretty simple. I'll tell you exactly what we do. I've got 30 yards. I've got lines marked out at 30 yards. And so what we'll do is we'll jog down, jog back. We'll lunge 10, then we'll high knee skip to 20. To the end, which is 20 yards of high knee skipping. High knee jumps, we're actually not necessarily skipping, but I call them skips. We're actually high knee jumps where we kind of, boom, getting off the ground, drive the knee things. Then once we get to that line, once we get to the 30-yard line, we turn around. We do knee hugs for 10 yards. Then once we get knee hugs, that way we're stretching on our glutes and our little hammies. That way we're stretching our glutes and our hammies a little bit with the knee hug. Then as we get to the 10-yard mark with that, we're doing walking leg swings for 20 yards. Then once we get back down, sometimes I may have them do some groiners and things, but depending on the group, depending on the younger the kid, the less they do. Because kids are already, shit, they're coming here sprinting in the door. So I don't spend a whole lot of time warming up with the kids, but sometimes the older people, you know, especially the kids that know how to produce power, you want to take care of them and make sure they don't pull any hamstrings or things. So then I'll have them jog 10, sprint 10, jog. Then we do the same thing, jog, sprint, jog. And then if that may be all we do for warm up before we do our 40, but if I have some higher end guys, I've got the 10-yard dash set up to where, all right, you go over there and hit 2 10-yard dashes. Don't go all out on the first one. Give a good hard push on your second 10-yard dash. Then after they do that, we wait about 5 or maybe 8 minutes. Then we start our testing. All right, first person, second person, third person. Then as they're testing, as lasers start, I've got a 10-yard gate, one at the 20 and one at the 40. And it's been pretty successful like that, and usually they break the records. There's not a whole lot of time warming up. I think sometimes when they go to these Nike combines or these Under Armour things or whatever they go to, I think they overkill the warm up, you know. And the younger the kids, the less we do. We may just jog down and back for the kids, do a walking lunge to a high knee skip to a leg hug, leg swings, then a jog, sprint, jog, sprint, jog, then we're at it. Because I do want them to kind of get some turnover. That's why we do the jog, sprint, jog, because I don't start them off with a full speed sprint. Then some of my higher end guys, after we do all that warm up, they may go over and do a 10-yard dash or two. Then we're rolling. So, but I do make sure they're rested after that. I like for them, the higher end guys, to at least get a good 10-yard start. Sometimes they'll bust it out to 20, but trying to do too much because I don't want to affect the 40-yard dash. I think sometimes when you do too much, it has a negative impact on the 40-yard dash. And so sometimes when they're then they'll sit there and want to stretch. I said, damn, why do y'all want to go there and stretch? Look, we already warmed up. You've already moved. We're ready to roll. You know, your muscles are innervated by 2 different types of stretch reflector sites. One's a measuring magnitude, and one is measuring speed and magnitude at the same time. If you're just over there static stretching, you're only targeting the fibers that are measuring magnitude, not speed and magnitude, so you're not doing yourself any damn good in the first place. So they need to know that, and there's a butt ton of studies out there that static stretching before high explosive activities. It's even they've even done it with golfers, and golfers decrease their driving distance by 25 yards. We're doing too much static stretching before the golf tournament. Baseball velocity drops, sprinting speed drops. I think the old static stretching is, you guys got to figure it out. Even when it was at Memphis, we did static stretching, had a 27% decrease in bench press power, peak power, so we can measure that with a Tendo unit. So that's my thoughts on that. If you want to do static stretching, do that crap at the end when the muscles are warm, not before you're trying to. Static stretching breaks apart the elastic capability of the muscle ability to fire back quickly. So you don't want to break apart the elastic capability of the fibers before you sprint or jump or run or whatever type of high-end explosive activity you're about to do. Some people say that's horseshit, but I've read the research, and I do the research myself with all these kids in here, so eat it. I think I touched on this. The kid thinks he can just make 35-pound jumps whenever. Not going to happen. Oh, likes to work out, side bends. We covered all that. So, covered that. So, anyway, I hope that I covered most of the stuff and same shit, and people can understand that you're going to have to do the same shit over and over and over again to get the results that you need. You can't come in here and floor press one day, incline press, dumbbell bench, next time close grip bench, reverse grip bench, whatever. There's 18,000 things you can do. But once you do the same thing over and over again, then you got to learn how to systematically get a result out of it as far as set rep schemes. You know, like I had a kid who went to college, he messaged me, Jared, we did 6 sets of 12 for squats. I said, holy shit, that's freaking stupid. I don't know what the hell it's going to do. And make your legs bigger. You know, I spoke before, anything over 6 reps hinders strength development. So why are you freaking killing these kids with 6 sets of 12? You just want them to feel like ass for the whole week? It don't make any sense. You know, years ago when I was starting the gym, we would do prowler and stuff all the time. We would do all this stuff, but you know what? Every time I had these kids over push the damn prowler, it had a negative impact on their 40-yard dash time. But parents like seeing their kids suffer. Oh, that looks hard. Hey, keep pushing, keep pushing. Shit, when I tested damn 40-yard dash, it was getting worse. I was like, well, they want the kid, well, they said they want to come here and get faster. How can I prove to them they're getting faster if I'm making them slower by making them do too much stuff, you know? And so, whatever, you know, but I did find a way to push the prowl in order to get some conditioning in to where when I do send these kids off to college, they're killing everyone else that they compete with. And so that's what I may post that. I don't know. I think of a lot of different things, and I get super freaking ADD, so I'm all over the place. But sometimes it is cool. If you want to do cool shit, do that shit on your accessories. But if you want to get better, beat yourself up with the squat, beat yourself up with the bench. We don't deadlift a whole lot. If I talked about that, we do deadlift after our squat, but I don't care about it. I don't care about, like this kid's got 275. I just did, I forgot what I had him do, maybe 205. Well, no, this kid's got a 405. This kid today, I was thinking about a different kid. This kid today, 405 deadlift, pulled 225, 3 or 4 sets of 8. Just to create tension and stress on the lower back with enough volume to where we're not killing the deadlift, but to where we are deadlifting, still working our hip extensors, our hamstrings with the deadlift, our glutes, and our lower back. They're getting work, but we're not overkilling it. Because if he's got a 405 deadlift, he's deadlift 225 for sets of 8. It's not that bad, but it is work. It's something that's better than nothing. Sometimes you've heard me talk about before, if I overkill their deadlift, if I try to push their deadlift and their squat at the same time, this kid, he's a punter, and he's a 400-pound deadlifter, and he's 300-pound front squatter. He's trying to rep 315 for 2. You know what? That's a damn dedicated kicker trying to get strong. I had a kid, James Fest, who went to Toledo. He left here with a 405 bench, got weaker. Anyways, I don't give a shit. He still got weaker at Toledo. He benched 375. He outbenched almost every lineman as a kicker. You don't want to sneak up on that guy. He'll kill you. So anyway, hope I answered. I know I say anyway a lot. I get that shit from my wife because she says anyway, but whatever. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. Email me questions if you got questions. Follow me on Instagram at Explosive Mechanics, Twitter, Explosive MEC. Email me, info@Explosive Mechanics. Go to the website, starting to put shirts in there. Support the gym, support the podcast. You know, buy a shirt, buy a bottle, or I'll start putting some more stuff on there. And you just go to explosivemechanics.com. As of right now, when this thing may post, the link to click to buy the shirt is not working. I'm trying to give you an option. If you want a white shirt, a blue shirt, black shirt, or a gray shirt, I'm trying to get to where you can, oh, I want that color shirt, but I've got an American flag logo, I got a carbon fiber logo, I got a white logo, black logo, gray logo, to where you can pick the color of your shirt and the color logo that you want on that shirt. So as soon as I can get that technology figured out, I'll have that up and running, or I may just do individual shirts, put them all on there and figure out how to do the different color combinations. I've got What the Freak sayings on the back, and shut up and work. So anyway, thank you again. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Y'all have a good day.